Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Fallout New Vegas. You only live once. You join me deep within the strip with 340 out of 430 hit points on the true health counter, doing very nicely indeed. And today we're doing a bit of NCR business, because pretty soon the NCR are going to get a little bit suspicious of how much time I spend over in the Lucky 38, and they won't work with me anymore. But when we get to the final battle, I need to have stacked the game a little bit more in my favour, so I need to set up everything right now, because I'm actually starting to get to the stage where I think it's actually now very likely we'll get to the final battle, or at least of the vanilla base game, of course. The DLC is a wholly different question, but we'll get to the second battle of Hoover Dam, and when that happens, well, I'm definitely going to be taking some fire, so I need to make sure everything is set up just right. So let's go and have a chat with Crocker about that. Afternoon, Ambassador. Sorry it took me so long to report to your summons. Now, what do you have to say for yourself?
It's good to have a friend of the NCR here. What can I do for you?
Oh, you see, we're off on very good terms there. I'm a friend of the NCR. Magnificent. Now, about the offer that you want to talk about.
I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. The NCR is in a bit of a tight spot with all that's going on, and I need someone like you to help me. In exchange for your help, you would receive complete amnesty for any past crimes against the NCR, as well as additional benefits and perks. To the northeast is a settlement. The locals here call them boomers. They are sitting on a munitions stockpile that would be invaluable to us.
Well, that is a very generous offer and a very interesting mission because, Crocker, luckily, I've already been there. And this is a nice bit of dialogue you only get if you've already completed the boomers and become idolised and completed all of Valare before you actually speak to Crocker in the first place. I already know them. We're good friends.
That's excellent news. So they'll help us, right?
Well, they'll help me, certainly. And I also like that, yes, they will help us. I'm just going to put that, given, obviously, they're not actually going to be helping the... Well, actually, they will be helping the NCR, technically, because I think the Boomer Bombardment, if you are doing Yes Man or Mr. House, it does hit the Legion, who are attacking the dam. So, actually, yes, I can be completely obvious and say the Boomers have agreed to help me, and, yeah, they will be helping the NCR when it comes to it.
Excellent work. I can't tell you how useful that would be.
And then we have, obviously, an easy 300 experience points and some NCR fame gain. And it's quite a big chunk of fame, which means, if I'm correct when I come out of this, yes, we are up to idolised, which is magnificent good news. Renowned for your extensive support and goodwill, you are idolised by the community. So that means I'm up to the maximum +4 positive reputation with the NCR. And that's brilliant news, because it means whatever happens with the NCR, however much they get annoyed at me working with House, or if I have to, do something against the NCR in the future, the worst that can happen is I get down to -4 negative NCR, and that means the two will cancel each other out, and I'll still be neutral. So the NCR should never shoot me on sight, as far as I'm aware. They should never do that. Ooh, do you have anything good in your suitcase, by the way? No, just a baseball. He came down here from California down to Vegas and he brought one baseball with him. Magnificent. Anyway, let's see what the next mission is, because obviously that one was remarkably easy to do.
It's good to see such an outstanding citizen of the NCR. What can I do for you, my friend?
It's lovely to get that welcome, but the text did say hero and you did say citizen. I prefer being called hero if you'd be so kind. Anyway, another assignment please, Crocker.
We've had reports of violence against NCR citizens in a neighborhood just to the northeast called Freeside. More worrying is the fact that our sources suggest the violence is being perpetrated by the gang that runs the place, the Kings. I need someone to look into this that won't attract attention. Would you be interested?
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to look into the King situation, and obviously there are two solutions that he'll go through now.
First, our sources have tracked most of the attacks back to a king named Pacer. The consensus is that the violence will stop if he's removed. The problem is we can't simply kill him. In the current climate, the NCR would likely be blamed for his death. If we can't go after the man responsible, we'll simply appeal to the man above him. The Kings, including our friend Pacer, report to the leader of their gang, a man who calls himself the King. Pacer's a punk, but he won't likely disobey a direct order.
So, the Kings and the quest, the King's Gambit. So obviously we've got two ways that we can do with this. We can either go through GI Blues, the perfectly normal way, or we can kill Pacer. I think the vast majority of people will be more familiar with completing GI Blues and becoming a member of the Kings. I'm going to show you the other way of doing it, killing Pacer, my personal favourite way, because there's a very interesting way I think not many people know about. Of course, one of the things that we have been advised is we can't just straight up murder him. The NCR would be blamed. And, given I've just been told to go kill Pacer by the NCR, that wouldn't just be a mistake. They'd be correct. It would flipping be the NCR's fault. So we've got to find a more subtle way of doing it. I think the one that most people are aware of is Birds of a Feather, where Pacer will come up to the doorman and Birds of a Feather in the first stage, and you can, if you aggravate him, cause him to shoot first, and then you can just kill him, and the Silver Rush will be blamed. But I think there's an even more elegant way than that. And potentially even more importantly, my way of doing it doesn't involve a firefight with Pacer, where he would likely be able to get off a couple of shots before I can actually deal with him once and for all. So, yes, admittedly you have, what's his name, the other doorman? Simon. Simon's the name of the other doorman on the Silver Rush, isn't he? Yeah, you've got his help to help you with Pacer, but Pacer might shoot at you, you might take a few hit points damage. I don't really want to take that risk. So there's another way of doing this, and it involves a character I think a few people just kind of completely miss. Do carry a gun while you're heading through this bit of Freeside, by the way. There's a reasonable chance of some bad guys spawning, but with my perception should show up nice and early on. Ooh, hello, what's going on? What's Dixon? What are you running from? I'm a little bit worried by why everyone's looking a bit scared at the moment, but never mind. But anyway, here is the guy in question that we want. Hello, Rotface, a beggar who just sits... Oh, okay, there was a Freeside thug who spawned up here, but presumably these three guys dealt with him before I even saw him, so that's fine. Freeside thugs never have guns. I don't know why they're only allowed melee weapons. It's a bit... Maybe it's so they don't accidentally shoot the wrong person and trigger a mass brawl of some description. If they have melee weapons, they're less likely to accidentally cause trouble by accidentally hitting someone, the wrong person in the crossfire. So Rotface will basically... You'll give him a cap and he'll tell you a little bit of information. And there's loads of them. Some of them are just interesting for lore, but there's one in particular I want to get out of him.
Hey,
so anyway, buddy, spare a cap.
I can make it worth your while.
He is not kidding. He indeed can. He indeed can. Are you soliciting me? Excellent. Yeah, so give him a cap and he'll tell you something.
The first thing you should know is that Freeside is run by a pack of yahoos that call themselves the Kings.
So the first tip he'll tell you is just about the Kings in general. But then you can just keep giving him money and he'll give you a tip. And I'm pretty sure that it's completely randomized. And there's loads of them. There's absolutely loads.
At the northwest end of Fremont Street, you'll find the Silver Rush. It's run by a rather scary family called the Van Graffs. These are not people you want to mess with. But if lasers and such are your thing, the goods they sell are second to none.
So most of them are just simply little bits of lore, little bits of information about the local area. Anyone who's played New Vegas more than a couple of times, there won't be much interesting here. However, if you just go through his options long enough, and I'll skip forward to when I get the one I want.
That King Pacer's a fan of Jet too, though I heard one of the followers talking about it being dangerous for him. Something about his heart.
There we go. So we learned from Rotface, I think I had to spend about 15 credits just kind of getting information out of him, that there is indeed, and it comes up straight as an optional, kill Pacer by adding Psycho to his jet.
I understand.
And that is, don't point a gun at him, goodness sake. Child just walked straight over a fire hydrant, well done you. Now, until we'd got that information from Rotface, there is no way to do what I'm about to do. It just doesn't exist. It's not on the map. But now that we've got that information, and we know that actually, though Pacer enjoys a little bit of Jet, it's not good for his heart, and he actually has a major heart problem that the Jet can exacerbate, then something new appears. Now, before we go into the Kings, we need to find ourselves, interestingly, one of the Freeside thugs. One of them died from, I think, the Kings the moment I walked through the door. And interestingly, the game slightly got a bit weird. And there's an infinite blood fountain where his something used to be. The reason I want these guys is because one of them has Wasteland Doctor's Fatigue. I need that for something in a second. So I'm just going to have his clothes off him and leave the infinite blood fountain just sparkling blood forever. I've seen that glitch a couple of times before. It's a bit of an odd one. In Fallout 3, it was more common sometimes that corpses would kind of explode, but the body parts that made up the corpse would just stay floating around. So, like, eyes and stomach and arms would just be kind of just standing, arranged sort of like a human in the air forever. In New Vegas, occasionally, I think it's more common that doesn't happen, but instead the little blood fountain that accompanies someone's, like, a limb exploding or something just stays floating in the air, which is what's happened there. But interesting. With that in hand, we can now head into the Kings. And there's the man himself, Pacer. No reason not to speak to him and use my speech check for some free XP. I'd like to see the king. And speech 60, I want to pay my respects.
You know what? I like you.
Yeah, he just, Pacer likes me. Not sure whether he will do in about, a few hours' time, give or take. just head on up to the top floor. No one ever challenges you. Even though you haven't spoken to the king yet and you haven't joined the kings, you're just allowed to run around. In fact, you're actually allowed to run straight into the king's. You're actually allowed to run straight into the king's own quarters. That's just where they keep the desks. But you are allowed to run into the king's quarters, which is here. You're just allowed to speak to his flooties as well.
I want to go to the strip. We never get to go to Gomorrah anymore.
But there we are. Yes, his flooties have a slightly unique accent, which is kind of fun. He's got a bath in his bedroom, multiple beds, a dresser, a second floozy. Good life being the king. But yes, you can just, you haven't even joined the king, you can just come in. This room's good, by the way, just straight on from the stairs. But you go in here and then close the door behind you. What are you doing in here? Infinite blood splatter. Yes, you can steal a king's outfit in here. They're not valuable, but I think those let you disguise yourself as a king. Hang on, let me just check on that for you. I'm not sure if you can. No, the game isn't saying I'm disguised as a king, so it's only if you happen to like the aesthetic of it, unfortunately. They're not valuable, though, so... Ooh, there's also a jailhouse rocker, which is a little bit different, a bit more valuable. So if you're into that sort of thing, you can dress like that. Kind of cool, actually, but I won't be keeping it, obviously. It's not very useful to me. Looks like there is no disguise to disguise yourself as the kings, but that's partly because there's not much point disguising yourself as a king. There's, I think, literally no scenario it's worth doing. But anyway, this is Pace's room in here. Just, you know, nice big room for him, for the second in command. He's got his own wardrobe, he's got his own bed. But now we've spoken to Rotface, he has this little box down here, Pace's jet stash. Now, this is why I brought the Wasteland Fatigues, because my medicine is 35. But with the Wasteland Doctor Fatigues on, that goes up to 40. And then with today's physician with plus 20 medicine, my medicine goes up to 60. And the reason I want to do that is investigate Pace's jet stash. And this box contains a large amount of jet. You could lace the jet with some psycho if you had some. This is only if you've got medicine of 60. Normally the game would say you've got to have medicine of 60. For some reason it doesn't actually tell you when you do have medicine 60 that you're doing it because you have medicine 60. And I think most people playing the game normally will have medicine 60 by this point. But anyway, spike the jet with psycho. And you carefully add psycho to Pace's jet, guaranteeing an altogether different high the next time he uses it. That's right. The High of Death. It's not a very good pun there. But yes, anyway, let's be on our way there, leaving him the clothes I stole from the cupboard there. So not only will he die of a drug overdose, but when they investigate his corpse in his room, they'll work under the assumption he was stealing supplies from the cupboard as well. So they'll think it was worthwhile, and it will be the perfect crime. So, that done, just step outside and wait for a little bit. And the quest GI Blues has failed, and obviously it's failed because one of the key quest givers has died. Kill Pacer in a way that implicates someone other than the NCR, and we have killed Pacer by adding Psycho to his jet. But as you can see, the Kings are absolutely fine with me. They're not shooting at me at all. They're all cool. And if we head back up to Pacer's room now, we find Pacer and we can search his body. Which is nice, because he's got a 10mm pistol on him, so we can just kind of have some stuff off him. We can have his key if you want. If he happens to have not opened the door downstairs, you can have his key off him there. So that's fine. Anyway, yes, that is Pacer, nice and dead. And you can loot his corpse for, you know, just a handful of nice, easy caps there. Of course, the fact that you just kind of arrived, ran through the building, were seen entering Pacer's room, left it, he then died under slightly mysterious circumstances. No one mind. In New Vegas, everyone's very not suspicious. Never mind. The downside of this method, of course, GI Blues having been failed. That's not a desperately difficult quest. In fact, it's relatively low risk, but I think it awards a huge amount of experience, like 1,000 experience points or something.
I did have something, but a close friend of mine got whacked, and now I got nothing for you. Sorry about that.
So you can see if you speak to the king there, once you've spoken to him, unfortunately, because Pacer is dead, he's not willing to give you the GI Blues quest, which I think might also exclude Rex from you entirely. Let's see if I can... Is there any way to get Rex with you at all? Ah, no, it looks like you might be able to get Rex anyway.
If you found a way to help my poor Rex here, I'd be much obliged.
So, yes, you can indeed get Rex as a companion, and all I'd need to do would be complete nothing but a hound dog. I don't know if I will, because I don't I'm not desperately interested in sorting out Rex, but I may get round to it at some point or other. I did say I'd do the companion quest, so I may well do that. But I'm not going to do this right now. The point is, I can't do GI Blues, but I can rather conveniently still do nothing but a hound dog. You just have to speak to the king twice in a row, and he'll be able to go through the all the normal dialogue with you about Rex. So we still can get Rex as a companion. We haven't locked him out, which is nice. Infinite Blood Fountain still kind of burbling away over there. Magnificent. So that done, back into the strip. In many ways, what you've kind of been seeing over the last couple of parts is almost the way that you might theoretically speedrun the NCR, because the way we dealt with the booms was very efficient too. And now, of course, that solution is ridiculously faster than GI Blues. GI Blues is a load of experience, but it's such an annoying quest. I hate doing it, because it's just running through constant loading zones, and New Vegas is not the fastest loading game in the world. So even though I've sacrificed the experience, as I said last point, I don't really want the experience anymore. I don't want to get over-leveled, because at this point being over-leveled becomes more and more dangerous, because the enemies will just level up with me. I will not be in good shape by, you know, being a ridiculously high level, because I've got most of the perks I want now. I need a few more. Anyway, back... Crocker? Bloody hell. Oh, God. Crocker's gone to bed. I always forget, this game does have a day-night cycle, but only for some characters. Some characters will sleep and kind of go to bed at certain times and get up at certain times, like Crocker. But some characters just don't, which is kind of a bit... not you, you're the receptionist. And you're the captain who doesn't really do much. Where is... Oh yeah, he has his own special room next door, doesn't he? Yeah, being the ambassador, he gets his own room. Very, very fancy. If you want to rob his room, of course, now's a very good time to do it. Anyway, hello, Crocker.
Ah, hello. I trust you have something to report concerning the Freeside situation?
Yep, Pacer is dead, and indeed, no one will blame the NCR.
With the conditions there, no one will suspect anything other than bad drugs to be the culprit. You've done a great service for the NCR. Now, you're probably wondering about your reward. This has been something of a hot-button topic, so I was able to secure this for you.
So, what do we get? A massive pile of experience. 600 bottle caps, which is good. And I think I can get a bit more out of him with some better barter, but never mind, I'm just glad to be of service, and keep me in mind for future assignments. Sure, why not?
I would, but I'm afraid the rest of the work in my queue pertains to matters I'll have to deal with personally. You do have another option, however. I've received a message from Colonel Moore up at Hoover Dam. She's been following your exploits and has requested that you meet with her. So
there we are. We've now been summoned by Colonel Moore over at the NCR. With the quest For the Republic Part 2. There is, of course, no For the Republic Part 1. It's, yeah, it just goes straight to Part 2. But never mind, I think it's a well-known little oversight in the game that there's a For the Republic Part 2, but no Part 1. Anyway, I see no reason not to go there now, because that's kind of why I wanted to rush through Crocker. I wanted to go and get one of Moore's quests. So, now that we've done that, we can speak to her. And unfortunately, even though this is the flipping third time I've been to Hoover Dam, the previous 2 times I went, I forgot to access the damn fast travel location, so I'm going to need to run there on foot again. It's really annoying. If you go to Hoover Dam and you step into the visitor centre, which is exactly where the quest marker will always be telling you need to kind of go next, you don't hit the Hoover Dam fast travel location. You've got to walk just mysteriously a few steps further up the road from the visitor centre to activate Hoover Dam as a fast travel, and the other nearest fast travel is Boulder City, which is actually a bit of a walk from Hoover Dam, so it's kind of annoying. So anyway, here I am in Hoover Dam yet again, and obviously the most logical thing you'd do in the world would be go through those doors there, but that would mean you don't go this way, even though there is literally nothing this way until the final mission or until you know when it happens. Now I've discovered Hoover Dam. But if I hadn't come to that point right over there between those sandbags, I wouldn't be able to fast travel here, as I wasn't able to today. And obviously the game applies the slightly red filter to indicate I'm in a military location, which is... I don't like the fact New Vegas does this, that, you know, when you're here or in Cottonwood Cove, the game just goes weirdly red. Just because. It does the same in Camp Forlorn Hope as well. So, here's Cassandra Moore over in the dam. Hello, Moore.
Good, you made it. I've been receiving reports about the savior of the NCR for a while now and wanted to meet you myself.
Oh, thank you very much.
You've proven yourself especially capable. And right now, I can use all the capable people I can get. One such loose end is a gang known as the Great Khans. Have you heard of them?
Yep. In fact, we are good. I've scored some... No. We're friends. We're friends. The game's sort of acting like, you know, I'm still holding a grudge for the whole being there when I was shot in the head thing, but me and them are seriously good friends now. But okay, you could say we've had dealings.
Then I don't need to tell you that they can be a pain in the ass.
Oh no, they're lovely.
I want you to visit them in their canyons to the far west and make sure they're in no shape to join the Legion. They're just another gang of raiders as far as I'm concerned, so deal with them appropriately.
So, she is now sending us to go and deal with the Great Khans. Nice and easy. Now, obviously, we've already had dealings with the Great Khans. We've already come here, and thanks to our work while we were working with the Brotherhood, in order to get these guys on side in terms of, what are they called? Jack and Diane. Thanks to the work that we've done with Jack and Diane, we're already quite well liked by the Great Khans. We are, in fact, at liked, +3 positive. So, you know, we've got a good reputation with these guys. So let's head into this longhouse and start off seeing what we can do in terms of getting the Khans on side. Because Moore seems initially utterly convinced that the Khans just have to be eliminated. So let's see what we can do about that question. So, speak to Papa Khan, the leader of the Khans. And I've come to ask the Great Khans to break their allegiance with Caesar's Legion.
Have you now? Well, you're a bold one, I'll give you that. But why should I do this for you?
And you've got 3 options here, but none of them are going to work out for you. Telling him the NCR is the best hope, or telling him that the Caesar Legions will just enslave him, or saying that Caesar doesn't really care about the Great Khans. None of them are actually going to work out. This is the one that's actually true, incidentally. In fact, I have hard evidence on my person that Caesar's Legion is going to be effectively going to enslave the Great Khans, because I found the Legion ledger in Caesar's tent, which I've already got. But Papa Khan will not listen to you, no matter what you do. It doesn't matter which option, doesn't matter.
Ha! The Great Khans will not be slaves. The Great Khans will answer Caesar's call to war, and the NCR will pay for their crimes.
So, we may as well just say goodbye. And, yep, clearly did not go that well. However, we have this chappie right here. So speak to this guy, Regis, I forget how you pronounce his name, and basically he will say he doesn't hate the NCR as much as Papa does, so he's not as wedded to the Alliance. And then you can just ask him, if you were in charge of the tribe, would you fight with the NCR against Caesar?
I suppose if asked, I would. But that's a moot point, because Papa's in charge now, and he's not going anywhere.
Yes, that's right. Definitely not going anywhere.
Until next
and as you can see, talk to more about a Great Khan NCR alliance suddenly pops up as an optional mission. So we couldn't have done that before. We were allowed to say previously, we could say to Moore, hey, what if, would you consider working with the Khans? And she'd be like, totally, nope, not interested. But now that we know that the second in command of the Khans is potentially interested in doing so, which he's willing to say out loud, surprised to close to Papa Khan, who hates the NCR and a member of the Legion, but, never mind. We can just step outside.
I heard you try to convince Papa.
And somehow, Regis manages to teleport in front of us, never mind.
Name's Regis.
Regis, excellent. Okay, good. We now know, yes, we definitely know that's right. Regis now.
Papa can be a stubborn man, but he's not a tyrant. He listens to his tribe, and to 4 voices in particular. Me, Jack, Diane, and Melissa. If you can convince all of us that allying with Caesar is a bad idea, you might be able to sway him.
So, what Regis was saying is suddenly very, very interesting. Right, first things first. Let's get the Legion out of here. So, Carl.
The vaunted hero of the Legion. What can I do for you?
Oh, thank you very much, Carl. So, luckily, we don't need to kind of betray Carl actively. We can just, we can trick him into betraying himself. So, why don't you become a member of Great Khans yourself, Carl?
Join? Oh, no, I simply couldn't. That is, I'm not worthy of such an honor.
And surely a warrior in service of the glorious Caesar is equal to any of the tribe's finest?
Of course I am. That is to say, Caesar has many fine warriors, and I wouldn't wish to compare them to the Great Khans.
And because you know they'd come up lacking, I think he might, this might rub him up the wrong way.
Enough! How dare you compare Caesar's finest to this tribe of savages? The mightiest Great Khan is scarcely a match for a Legion recruit. The burned man would leave their mightiest shitting themselves in terror. I would. That is...
Oh dear.
You motherless bastard. You'll pay for this.
I didn't do anything. That was your own fault. Now just hide behind someone and let them deal with Carl. He attacked a few of them, but gets shot down. Oh no, he's managed to take refuge in the kitchen there. I'm guessing he's dead now. There we go. Hello, Carl. Do you have anything good on you? No, not really. Just a machete and Merc Adventure outfit. Nothing of that much use. Beautiful. Anyway, that's the Legion taken care of. And no Legion reputation loss from me, because obviously I didn't do that. It was entirely his own fault for speaking so imprudently in front of the Great Khans. Now, that done, let's go have a chat with more about that alliance. Alright, more, I have a little update for you. The Great Khan's second in command seems open to allying with the NCR.
An alliance? That's an interesting proposition. Any plan where I can throw packs of raiders at the enemy instead of my own soldiers is a good one.
And the current leader of the tribe is dead set against it. Maybe a diplomatic solution would work.
We don't have time for diplomacy. This battle is coming any time now. If the leader won't be budged, he'll have to be replaced. I want you to go back to Red Rock Canyon and assassinate this Papa Khan.
There we go. We now have the option to assassinate Papa Khan. You must speak to Cassandra Moore before you do that, incidentally, if you want to go down this route. You cannot just speak to Regis and then kill Papa Khan. It won't work out well. You've got to have spoken to Cassandra Moore first. There's nothing to stop you assassinating Papa Khan, but I'm pretty sure you can't actually formalise the alliance unless you've gone through this step in the middle of speaking to Moore. So back to Red Rock Canyon. As you can see, evening is falling, and that works out just perfectly for us, because just like Cassandra was implying, sneaking in at night is definitely the best bet. There's also a point in the, I think it's late morning, that Papa Khan will come and use this outhouse. He'll just kind of come out here to have, you know, a bit of quiet time sitting on the toilet, reading a magazine. We've all been there. It's a little bit more difficult, because obviously because of the layout of the outhouse, you can't really get behind him. Or you might be able to, but it'll be a bit weird if you did, so you'd have to use a silenced weapon. So instead, the easiest thing to do by far is simply wait until late into the night. So I'll just go 6 hours. Yeah, 6 hours should do it. Get us into about 20 past 2 in the morning. That should do very nicely indeed. Lovely. And then we can go in the back door. It's hard locked, but I think pretty much anyone by the time they get to Red Rock Canyon and into this far into the game should have at least 75 lockpick. And here we are in Papa Khan's bedroom, all alone. We can also rob him blind, which is always nice. So you can help yourself to some stuff, which is great news. His door's open, by the way, but you know what? Let's do this proper stealthy style. Just sneak up behind Papa Khan. Nice hidden in his private quarters. He doesn't have any bodyguards with him when he's asleep. And obviously, Sandman makes this remarkably easy. I would like to murder Papa Khan, please. And we've got a level for doing that. There we go. Level up. Level 22. Magnificent news. Now, science I want up to 80, obviously, so that I can basically, so I can just get my science up to 100 if I need to. I'm not sure if I actually need to by the end of the game, but just in case, let's get sneak up 2 to 90 odd. Speech we may as well max out, why not? Yeah, I've been meaning to do that for a little while. Let's get unarmed up to a nice round number, because I like my stats all being nice round numbers for the most part. And sure, sneaking up to 91, why not indeed? Level 22 perk. And a perk I'm long overdue to take. A bloody mess, of course. Not because I particularly enjoy the visual effect, particularly, though it is fun, but an extra 5% extra damage with all weapons is vastly more useful than the aesthetic effect, obviously. It's one that I've been meaning to take for a while just because I want to maximise the amount of damage I can do in a single shot, which makes this kind of what I think I should take next. Action Girl is also tempting, as is Sniper, to increase chance of hitting heads in VATs, but I've got to go for Bloody Mess just because I want to maximise the amount of damage I can do with all my guns. I've just got to be as efficient as possible. When I take that first sneak attack critical, I've got to have the most damage possible, you know, the most multiplier possible, just the highest damage for my sneak attacks, everything I just need to maximise. So Bloody Mess helps that a little bit. That's what I'm taking. There we go. And I have failed. Why can't we be friends? That's the quest over in Vault. Oh, which one is it? I can't remember which number Vault it is. The one that's over on kind of the west side of Central Vegas, where you can, because one of the solutions to that is to tell the powder gangers who escaped that they can join the Great Khans, but obviously with Papa Khan dead you can't, even though you could logically just ask Regis if they could, and he seems quite more open than Papa Khan was, so I'm sure he'd be actually more up for it, but never mind, that quest automatically failed. Interestingly, Oh My Papa hasn't automatically failed, or at least the game hasn't said it has, which you would have thought it would, but anyway, let's just have his stuff because it's valuable. And particularly the Great Khan's spike helmet, which is kind of cool. Yes, we'll definitely be helping ourselves to that. And back out the back way, no one will suspect it. Wait, hang on. Will no one suspect a thing? Well, there's no massive blood splash. Maybe no one will suspect a thing. Skip forward to the next morning, and everyone seems very calm under the circumstances. I've decided I'm going to wear Papa Khan's hat, obviously, for this next bit. I'm going to wear Papa Khan's hat and the rebreather, because I think that's actually really darn cool. The Chinese stealth armor, Papa Khan's hat, and the rebreather. Those go together really nicely. I think that's pretty darn cool, quite frankly. So there we are, that's that. So anyway, let's go find Regis. He should be somewhere around here. Is this his tent? Is that you, Regis? Yes, Regis. Okay, so good news and bad news. Good news, you're promoted. So now you're in command. Will you lead the Khans against Caesar and fight for the NCR?
Without Papa Khan's guidance, I don't know what else to do. All right, you can tell the NCR the Great Khans will fight for them when Caesar attacks.
Okay, oh, so that's why Oh My Papa didn't actually fail. I'm idolised with the Great Khans. I showed up at their base. I said, "Hey, Regis, if Papa Khan were to be dead, would you lead the Khans with the NCR?" Then I disappeared for a bit. Papa Khan died that evening, and then I went up to Regis and said, "So now Papa Khan's mysteriously died. Would you mind leading the Khans against the NCR?" Ignore the fact I'm wearing Papa Khan's hat right now. Definitely don't pay any attention to that small problem. Oh, magnificent. And not only that, but I came out of that. I went up from light to idolized. No, Regis, let me help you out. Let me help you out, buddy. You'll be fine. Yep, we got this. You got this. There we go. Beautiful. So there we are. That's Oh My Papa finished. Again, the ridiculously fast, easy way. Obviously, the normal way wouldn't be too bad. Jack and Dan, because I've already done their quest, would be on side immediately. Regis would be on side because I took the ledger from the Legion already, so I can get him on side. Carl, obviously, I'd already managed to get rid of. So that only leaves Melissa. Melissa, the Kiwi Khan, who lives up by Quarry Junction on the Great Khan encampment. But not a chance in hell am I going after her, because I don't think there's any route to her that doesn't involve death claws. And even with a stealth boy, and I'm getting low on stealth boys, it's dangerous to go through Deathclaw territory because they have really high perception. Sometimes they will see you through a stealth boy. It's not impossible. Anyone who's tried to sneak by Quarry Junction in order to get straight from Good Springs to New Vegas using the stealth boy in the schoolhouse from Good Springs, you guys will be very, very well aware that obviously it's not a, you're not just invisible and no one will ever see you if you're sneaking about using a stealth boy. Death claws are perceptive. They can notice you. So anyway, that there is Oh My Papa completed, and the Great Khans will now be fighting for the NCR. And obviously I want as many people fighting for the NCR as possible, because when the battle comes around, effectively when you're playing as Yes Man or Mr. House, for the most part you are on the NCR's side. It's the Legion who will be attacking you the most. So I want as many people lined up to help the NCR as I can when that does actually come to pass. Anyway, back to Cassandra Moore. Nice thing to note, by the way, I'm currently idolised by the Boomers. I'm liked by the Brotherhood of Steel. I'm idolised by Caesar's Legion. I'm idolised by Good Springs. Idolised by the Great Khans. Idolised by the NCR. Idolised by Novak. And idolised by the White Glove Society. The way I'm playing this game is a really good way to get really high reputation with everyone, which is just safe. It's just a safe way to play, to be idolised by everyone. So, Cassandra Moore, let's see how you react to the deal I've done.
Yes. Did you have an update on the Khans?
I've spoken to the Great Khans. Their new leader has agreed to fight for the NCR.
Excellent. You've done very well indeed. These tribals will make useful machete fodder. In the meantime, however, I have something else I want you to look into. We've had some disturbing reports recently concerning the Omertas, one of the 3 families that run the Strip. Our intelligence has discovered that high-ranking members of the Omertas have been having clandestine meetings for the past several months. We haven't been able to determine whom they've been meeting with, but if it's Caesar's men, we'll need to act. I need you to uncover what they're up to and stop it if it threatens the NCR. Any questions?
Spoiler alert, yes, it's Caesar's men. Interestingly, if you go through the quest the way the quest expects you to, it's never actually explicitly stated, I'm not sure by anyone at any time, that the Omertas are actually working and supplying weapons for Caesar's Legion. It's just kind of one of those things that you just kind of... It's a weird quest, how little we know, because you end up kind of going through it, just doing what the quest tells you to, and the quest is really unclear as to why you're doing any of those things. Anyway... So, Caesar's Legion, we're having some negative impacts with them. I think they've started to figure out I'm working with the NCR and House. So, good-natured rascal. Your reputation as a good-natured friend of the community manages to outshine your dark side. And I have failed Caesar's Hire, which is one of the little mini-quests that you can do, I think, to get free stuff from the Legion. So, I've also failed Caesar's Favour. And I might well be about to fail some other stuff too. Have I failed Beware the Wrath of Caesar? Though whenever I read that one, I always read it as Beware the Wrath of Caesar, even though I normally would say Caesar is Caesar, which is the normal Anglophile version. I've also failed Render and Kaiser, so I'm pretty much done with the Legion at this point. Is that it? Just those 4 quests? Okay, good. So I'm now a wild child, according to Caesar's Legion. So nothing too bad there. I'm pretty sure that is not a they're sending stuff after me sort of situation. Obviously, this is now the point where if I'm wrong, the Legion could theoretically start sending hit squads after me. So I really flipping hope I understand this game as well as I think I do. But you'll probably have noticed there that obviously now that the next mission given to me by the NCR is to deal with the Omertas, that's exactly where Mr. House asked me to go. And both factions want the same resolution, so I can complete that quest for both of them and turn it into both of them, which is great news. Again, just like the Boomers earlier, this is one of those quests where you can complete it once but then turn it into 2 different factions for a big dump of experience points from both of them, which is always good fun. Anyway, here we go, into the Omertas. Yep, he wants me to hand over my weapons. Okay, but keep the holdouts. Well, pretty damn good stealth at the moment. I wonder what am I allowed to keep? I've managed to get in the explosives, plasma grenades, power fists, upholsteries. No actual guns, though. Interestingly, I think for some reason I'm just not holding any guns that I'm actually allowed to use. So I don't actually have a gun at the moment. That's a bit of an issue, but that's okay. That's totally one that we can fix up later. Anyway, we're now going to do How Little We Know, obviously. And this is a very quick, easy one to do. I'm going to really skim through this one. If you want the detailed breakdown, look it up in my no-kill run. But I'm going to try and keep this. I'm going to try and keep this as brief as possible. Now, the NCR recently told me that I should go and speak to Mick and Ralph and also the receptionist at the NCR embassy for some information, but obviously because I am already doing this request for Mr. House anyway, I already know that I can push the receptionist for information. So let's start with her.
Well, what can I help you with today?
Please give me information betraying your own casino. I'm calling in an outstanding balance for some information. Tell me what the Omertas are up to.
All I can tell you is to find Caccino.
So, the game says talk to Caccino, and conveniently he actually, I'm pretty sure, What? Why is there red? Why is there a red compass marker? I'm really nervous because I don't have a damn gun right now. Anyway, Caccino comes to find me.
What the fuck do you want? I don't give half a dick what you heard. Now get the fuck out of my face before I burn your sorry ass.
What a lovely man Caccino is. Yet mysteriously we do decide that we're going to work alongside him. Never mind. Okay, that red compass marker is freaking me out. What the hell is it? Why is there a red compass marker in this casino? So, with barter of 55, strength of 8, or 300 caps, you can do that, but I'll just find another way. Luckily, I'm pretty sure you can just hack your way in. The locksmith, I'm pretty sure the lockpicking criteria actually is not that bad at all, so don't need to worry about that. Flipping hell, who is that red compass marker? I don't know who that would be. Anyway, call elevator. And go up to the suites. So yeah, his door's hard lock, nice and easy 75 lock. And in his desk, you'll find a copy of his journal. Very useful indeed. I'm sure we can go straight down and confront him with that. Yep, Caccino's journal should have enough proof to get him talking. Nice and easy. Skip back down to him.
Where the fuck did you get that? That book can get me killed if the wrong people see it. Let's talk. What do you want?
The bosses, Big Sal and Nero, have been working for a while on this. They're arming themselves like an army, using this new guy, Troik.
They also brought in a specialist named Clandon. At least that's what they introduced him as.
So yeah, as I say that, Caccino now tells you, alright, go and deal with Clandon and Troik, but he doesn't actually explicitly tell you they're arming themselves because they're going to work for the Legion, they're going to help Caesar's Legion take over the strip itself, which is just really weird, but never mind. Anyway, now that I've got the key that he gave me, I can go back into this area here. Hello. And in the lower level, you'll have Troik right here.
Who are you? I didn't do anything. Leave me alone.
I'm looking to help Kachino break up whatever's going on.
Yeah? Well, fuck that. The bosses have my number and I'm a company man while they got the goods on me.
So, speech of 80, obviously we can basically threaten him into helping us. I don't like it, but you can do. So, speech of 80, let's do that.
Great. So I'm fucked either way. I guess I don't have any choice but to help you.
So, I've lost karma for doing that, but never mind. So, what can you tell me about the guns the Omertas have?
They're keeping them in a little utility section down off the basement. I don't know what they're arming themselves for, but I know it isn't for the good of mankind.
So, the operation is now to destroy the guns with some thermite, which, with speech of 70, you can make him do himself. He'll be killed if you do that, but I don't want to do that. Give me the thermite. I will destroy the weapons myself.
Okay, here's the thermite and a key to the room where the guns are stored.
Okay, seems fair to me. Bye, Troik. Off you go. Yep, lovely. So that's Troik pretty much dealt with. He's out the way. We've got the explosive we need to destroy the guns. Then we've just got Clandon, who's a bit of an odd one. So he's a nice guy, supposedly. He's not really. We just run into his room. There's a safe around the back of here. We'll crack that. Hello, safe. And snuff tapes in that safe along with 100 caps. So that's not good, is it? And you can get a rather unpleasant description if you... Yes, a very unpleasant description if you look at that, of prostitutes being murdered and killed. Speak to Clandon.
Hey, nice to meet you. Do you need help with something?
Yes, these snuff tapes. I think the authorities would like to hear these tapes I found in your safe. Meanwhile, locally, you don't need a massive check to this or anything. Just, you can't have the tapes. I'll keep them to myself if you leave and never come back.
Fuck, I was getting tired of this place anyways. I can find girls to play with somewhere else.
A deeply unsatisfactory conclusion, of course. I feel like I really should have just killed him. But I don't want to take the risk when this guy might join in on Clandon's side. Yeah, it's just, it's not worth the risk of me fighting. But obviously, Clandon makes it pretty clear he's just going to go and start killing girls somewhere else. Meanwhile, there's this little side room here, which I don't want to crack open because I don't want to waste a locksmith's reader on it. But this is his torture room. If you want to see it, Fallout New Vegas, where I cover the Omertas, I do show it off in that series. It's an unpleasant room. Yes, very unpleasant. So, yes, anyway, back downstairs to Troik with those dealt with. So, back in Lower Brimstone, you'll know the door you want because it's the big kind of heavy metal one with lots of locks rather than all the others, which are just normal doors. With the key that Kachino gave us, we can get down here and we can find the guns that are being stored in this room that were mentioned. So, before you do that, obviously, I am not currently armed with any guns, and I'd like to be, because I'm going to need some guns in a second. So, we can get some stuff out of this case. So, okay, we got a rifle, we got a sniper rifle. What else have we got? Got a flamer, wow. And a decent quality sniper rifle there. Okay, so the only two cases? I think they are. Anyway, place some thermite, place it around. Don't know if thermite's real. Never actually bothered checking whether thermite's real, if that was just something that was made up for this game. So we've laid the thermite around. It's this stuff all around everywhere. And then we just step outside, close the door, and activate the detonator. And even though there's a blinding flash, you don't take any damage from this, which is kind of funny. So yes, just press the detonator. Big flash, but you'll notice no hit points lost there whatsoever. So there we are. We have destroyed the guns. You can go in and now, as he said, everything's just been reduced to ash. Though mysteriously the room's integrity is in good shape and the light bulbs in here are still working, but never mind, whatever, eh? And equally importantly, we actually now have some guns to hand, which is very, very useful indeed. So, the guns have been destroyed, even though no one ever actively said what they were for, and Clandon has been got rid of, even though no one actually ever said why it was important. Yeah, this quest is a bit odd. Anyway, Kachino!
Hey, what can I do for you?
I have dealt with everything.
Now we cut off the head of the serpent. Big Saul and Nero have to die.
Seems reasonable.
I'll slip you a gun, and we can take them out.
And with speech of 80... I can tell him that he should keep the gun and do it himself. That's good because I want a bit more firepower in the room. Basically, what's going to happen is, for those of you who aren't familiar, I'm going to be taken up to the room, and if I follow the default plan, I have to fight both Nero and Big Sol on my own. Kachino won't do much to help. With speech of 80, I can say rather than him giving me a gun that he expects me to use, he keeps the gun, and I can just use the guns I just found downstairs. So it's more of a 2-on-2 fight, and we'll rig the odds a little bit more in our favour in a second too. So speech 80.
All right, I'll take care of them. Just give me the word when to start shooting.
Lovely. Let's go take care of the bosses.
Hurry and get ready.
So, he heads up. Obviously, we are now heading into a combat scenario, so that means as lovely as I think this new look is. In fact, I might actually come back to this. For some reason, I just think the rebreather, the Chinese stealth armor, and the helmet work really well together. It's time to get properly set up. So the setup I've decided to go with is obviously my power armor for maximum damage threshold. But other than that, I'm going to go with the Lucky Shades from the Legion and the NCR Beret. And the reason for that is because basically I just want to maximize my chance of getting a critical hit. The Lucky Shades give me +1 luck, and the Recon Beret gives me a +5 critical chance. So basically that's a good thing to do. Meanwhile, I'm going to go with a weapon with a high DPS and low damage, the Assault Rifle here. And the reason for that is obviously because, while I've got a high critical chance, I'm going up against enemies who are going to be wearing, like, I think they're just wearing either dirty or pre-war business wear. That means that I'm in pretty good shape to use low damage, high DPS weaponry. Interestingly, they're totally fine with me just, wandering in like this. Like, seriously, they just kind of say, hey, let's have a private meeting with this person. The person with the assault rifle and the power armor and the Legion first and the Legion glasses and the first Recon Beret. Let's just have a meeting with that person. But anyway, no reason why not.
Take care of them when you're ready. Just say the word.
I have been given some weapons and some ammo and some stim packs by Kachino, who just kind of slipped them on me as we came in. Now, obviously, there is a risk we may well take a shot of damage in here. It's kind of inevitable because you'll have to sit down for this little cutscene.
So I assume you know why we called you here.
And you maybe lost some guns.
You're gonna die of failure.
And finally, with Speech of 80 as a last request, will you tell me more about the plan?
Are you shitting me? You didn't even know what the plan was.
Hey, don't blame me. This quest wasn't desperately well written. There's a real lack of exposition. And then obviously this opens up. Nero didn't tell me any of this when he convinced me to take you out.
The fuck? I knew there had to be someone higher up helping you. Nero, you backstabbing, two-timing motherfucker. I knew this day would come.
And now, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, and now one of them should be left. You see, one of them's already down on the ground. Now we just use that to finish them off. And he goes down. Nice and quick and easy. I am light on the strip for my work. And Kachino just wanders off. So like, yeah, the heads are still rolling on the ground, but it's fine. Search Nero. We'll take his stuff off him because it's valuable. Yep, some good valuable stuff there. Beautiful. I have informed yes man, the Omertas is no longer a threat. There we are. Both of them have been killed. Just, quickly close the door and have a quick chat with... Where's Kachino just gone? Are you down here? Hello, Kachino. And I'm planning on playing some games in the casino, which is a lie because I've been barred from the casino. But do you give me the chips anyway?
Of course. After all you did for me, here are some chips for you. Play, have some fun.
Mysteriously, even though I've just been given chips and I'm best friends with the guy who now runs the casino, I'm still not allowed to gamble in the casino, very sadly. Great shame. Anyway. Oh dear, no one minds me just running through the, the place dressed like this. Even though, of course, guns are banned and they've taken all my guns off me. Everyone's totally fine with me just running around like this. Though I feel like I might be being a little bit ostentatious at the moment, so let's just get back into my usual gear. There we go. I'm enjoying this new little setup we've got going on here. But just to confirm, I go up to any table. Will it let me play? Nope, I've been banned from gambling at this casino. Very, very sad. Anyway, that is all that done. So I just came to Hoover Dam to do the double turn and turn the quest to the NCR, then go and turn it back into house as well. But the game went a bit weird and it wouldn't let me speak to Moore. In fact, it did a zoom in like Moore was about to say something that I wasn't able to speak to. It was actually a bit odd. So what I suspect has happened is because the NCR quest I was given actually specifically asked me to speak to the receptionist, what's her name? Lisa O'Malley, I think her name is. And that's how you speak to the receptionist at Gomorrah to start off how little we know. Because I skipped the only way the NCR quest is allowed to begin, I technically didn't do the NCR quest. So I think the game's gone a bit odd on me. So never mind. In all fairness, that would have been, I think, the last thing I could do for the NCR. It's certainly the last thing I want to do along the NCR's quest line, because I think the next stage is they ask you to kill House. Pretty sure that would have come up next anyway, so obviously I didn't want to kill House, so that's absolutely fine. We're done with Cassandra Moore. She's a horrible person who, even though we like the Great Khans and we arranged an alliance, she was just talking about them as savages that would be useful as machete fodder, so we don't like her, we don't like Cassandra Moore. Anyway, back to the strip. So, time to turn in the quest to Mr. House if he's the only one that will accept it. Hello, Housey.
What do you have to report about the Omertas?
The Omertas were conspiring against you, but they are dead.
Well done. They won't be causing any trouble then. Your next assignment is to locate and destroy remnants of the Mojave chapter of the Brotherhood of Steel.
So there we are. The next stage is apparently kill off the Brotherhood, and I don't want to kill off the entire Brotherhood.
Don't tell me you've fallen for the stories of noble paladins on crusade, preserving mankind's technology in a benighted age. Dross.
So, any possibility of a diplomatic solution at all, House?
We're talking about a coterie of bulging-eyed fanatics who think all pre-war technology belongs to them.
People who kind of dig around in the actual files of this game have found there's some snippets of stuff that suggest that there used to be a diplomatic solution to this, that Mr. House could be persuaded to either leave the Brotherhood alone or ally with them if you passed a very high speech check, like 90 or something, but it never made it into the base game, so it was never patched in, so it's not there. Mr. House, there is no way to proceed with him unless the Brotherhood is dead. And there we go. NCR infamy has been gained, and indeed we have failed for the Republic Part 2. And we have almost certainly, I assume, failed, what is it, Don't Tread on the Bear? Yep. There it goes. The NCR has decided I've gone too far down the Mr. House route. They are not happy with me anymore. The NCR knows that you're working against its interests and will no longer accept your help. Notice that is not the same as the NCR will shoot you on sight. They will not do that. The NCR is just not entirely happy with me. They won't work with me, but they won't shoot me either. So me and the NCR, we're still pretty good. We're just neutral to each other. That's absolutely fine. In fact, if we look at them there, I'm technically still idolised by the NCR. I don't know if that will drop automatically at some stage, but it certainly hasn't yet. So there we are. There is one question that then remains then this week, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last chance we have to jump ship. If I were to jump ship to Yes Man right now and install Yes Man in place of House, we could continue on the Yes Man route. I'm pretty sure everything House is going to ask me to do now, Yes Man will ask me to do anyway, so you're not going to be missing out on any content whatsoever. But if we go with Yes Man, the Brotherhood get to live. The Brotherhood can live if we go down the Yes Man route. So I know the vote. The vote was for Mr. House, but equally, when I phrased that vote and I said, which end do you want me to go for? I said NCR, Legion, or House. I didn't even bother asking about Yes Man, but a few people said Yes Man anyway. So this is it. House or Yes Man? Tell me down in the comments which route I should go, because I don't want to kill the Brotherhood. It's not even about, being worried about them. I'm sure I could find a way to destroy them. But I put all that effort into making them friends, and now they're my friends, and I like the Brotherhood, and Veronica will not be happy with me. But I'm going to leave this to you. We can either go down the Yes Man route and be friends with the Brotherhood, or the House route and blow up the Brotherhood. Tell me in the comments what you want me to do, and I will do that route next week. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Fallout New Vegas, you only live once. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Down, 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 get off it. Just hop off. Oh no, that was wrong! I would untie and save you, you understand, but there is a hovercraft. I really hope the bear's not still around. The bear is still around! The bear's still around! The bear's still around! Good news, guys! Elephants here! Hey!